In this video, we're going to be evaluating a trigonometric expression. So here we're going to find the exact value of the sine of u plus v, given that the sine of u is 4/5, where u is between 0 and pi over 2, which is the first quadrant, and cosine of v equals -12/13, where v is between pi over 2 and pi, which is in the second quadrant. So we're going to need to use the sum formula for sine, which is the sine of u times the cosine of v plus the cosine of u times the sine of v. And we know that that's the formula we're going to need to use because up here in the problem we were given sine of u plus v. Now if we look at our problem, we see that we were already given the sine of u and we were also given the cosine of v. Now in order to find our cosine of u and our sine of v, we're going to need to look at the triangles that are created in those first and second quadrants. So let's look at that first quadrant. So looking in the first quadrant and knowing that the sine of u equals 4/5, we can create the following triangle that has a vertical rise of 4 and has a hypotenuse of 5. Using Pythagorean's theorem, we can find our missing side length as a 3, which is going to tell us that our cosine of u is 3/5. Now to find our sine of v, we're going to need to look into our second quadrant. So looking at our second quadrant and knowing that the cosine of v is -12/13 allows us to draw the right triangle that has a horizontal distance of 12 and a hypotenuse of 13. Using Pythagorean's theorem, we can find our missing side to be a 5, which is going to tell us that our sine of v is going to be 5/13. So now we can take the values we have and we can plug those in. So we know that the sine of u is 4/5. We know that the cosine of v is -12/13. We know that the cosine of u is 3/5, and we know that the sine of v is 5/13. Then plugging that into our calculator allows us to get the answer -33/65. And that's our answer. So the exact value of sine of u plus v, given sine of u 4/5 in the first quadrant, and the cosine of v equals -12/13 in the second quadrant, is -33/65.